Might cheat a little bit in order to save time. I mean, it's not really a game, it's just a book. That's literally what we're gonna play. So, hello everybody, welcome to the stream. We're playing some more Lone Wolf, and now we're tackling book number 5, Shadow on the Sand. So first, a story. I mean, the story of what happened. I mean, not in the last 4 books, but hey, in the next book. Or the other. Whatever, at this point I should just go. The story so far. You are a lone wolf, last of the Kai Lords of Summerland, and sole survivor of the massacre that destroyed them during a bitter war with your age-old enemies, the Dark Lords of Helgeb. It is midwinter in your northern homeland, and a mantle of snow lies knee-deep in the streets of Holmgard, the capital, when you are summoned from your monastery in the hills by a messenger bearing a scroll, signed and sealed by the hand of King Alnar. You are surprised to read the king's message, for it is a request for your help in solving an urgent problem of what he describes as great diplomatic importance. It seems a strange request to make of a warrior lord whose skills are better suited to the field of battle than to parleying with foreign envoys. However, you obey the summons, and upon your arrival at the capital, all is made clear. The Zakhan of Vassagonia, the imperial ruler of this desert empire, has sent his most trusted envoy to seek a treaty of peace between your two countries. And you have been asked to sign the treaty on behalf of your country. Oh boy, this is very upbeat music for just... Wait, what is a dome? Sorry, I don't know all of the readings and everything. But yeah, you have been asked to sign the treaty on behalf of your country. The reason for this is easily apparent. Less than a year ago, a renegade noble of Vassagonia called Baraka led his army of bandits in an attack upon the Sumlending province of Ruanon. This mining town and much of the surrounding land was overrun and destroyed. Many Sumlending lost their lives, and many more were enslaved and forced to labor in the mines of the Makin Range. When the regular convoy from Ruanon failed to arrive at the capital, the king sent you to investigate. A great battle ensued in which you defeated Baraka in mortal combat. Without your courage and skill, the safety of Summerland and all of the last lands will have been placed in grave peril. Your Majesty, the Zakhan is gravely embarrassed by Baraka's foul treachery and is most anxious that our friendship and trust be restored. He begs that you send the Kai warrior, Lone Wolf, to sign a treaty of peace with him at the Krent Palace in Barakish. Whimpers the Zakhan emissary as he kneels at the feet of King Olnar. The king rises from his throne, barely able to conceal his distaste for the fawning envoy. He turns his gaze to you and bids you follow him into the privacy of an antechamber. I have no liking for this desert realm, Lone Wolf, but I like the prospect of war even less. The Zakhan is old and frail, and has no son to claim his throne when he dies. Baraka was but one of many ruthless nobles who wait like jackals for a chance to seize power, and I fear they grow too impatient to allow the Zakhan to die a natural death. The treaty may not guarantee peace with Vassagonia once the Zakhan is dead, but it will at least buy us precious time to straighten our southern border. The king leads you to a window and points toward the harbor, barely visible through the falling snow. A Vassagonian galley lies anchored close to the harbor wall. Go to Vassagonia, Lone Wolf, sign the treaty, and return quickly. Even with the promise of peace, I fear the shadow of war will fall upon us before the year is out. You wave farewell to Holmgard on this bleak midwinter's day, feeling sure you will return before the thaw. But as you watch the spires of Holmgard disappear in the falling snow, you have no inkling of the shadow that awaits you in Vassagonia. Also, no, I've never played a D&D campaign. I wanted to try and partake in some, but generally by the time the character is created and all, I will lose interest and I will be bored. It's like, nah. So yeah, if we're looking at our character, last time when we finished book 4, we took hunting as a discipline. And what does hunting does? It allows us to never starve in the wild. You will always be able to find food except in areas of wasteland and desert. You are aware that most of Vassagonia is arid desert. Should your adventure lead you in the desert, the opportunities for successful hunting may not arise. Whoops, okay. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to get food during this adventure. But the skill is still very useful, for it also enables a Kylord to move with great speed and dexterity. So at least we've got that going for. So at that point, we only are missing one discipline and we're never going to use it. It is Mind Blast, which allows us to get the +2 combat skill into combat against creatures that are not immune to it. So, alright, time to begin. Your mission is one of peaceful diplomacy, but beware! The Desert Empire of Vassagonia is notorious for being a land of deceit and treachery. Be on your guard at all times. Also, make notes as you progress, as you will find they will be of great help in future adventures. Many things that you will find will aid you during your adventure. Some special items will be of use in future Lone Wolf adventures, and other may be red herring of no use at all, so be selective in what you decide to keep. This is your first, that's not our first adventure. Oh yeah, that's right, I almost forgot. That's right, we probably should overlook our equipment. Alright, we have a map of the Desert Empire. Let's have a quick look at it. Yeah, essentially, it's all desert, so I hope you enjoy sand and mountains. That's literally all that it is about. Yeah, here's our destination. It's all the way over there. Alright. At that point, we're given a pouch of gold. I mean, we already have max gold, so yeah, I don't think we're gonna use anything. So, alright, we may take 4 of the following things. A dagger. At that point, I don't think we need any more weapons. We can take a potion of Lone Spur that heals us at this point. Okay, we still have a potion, so we could take it if we wanted to. A sword, we already have one. A spear. 2 special rations. Like, come on, we're going in the desert. We need food. Thank you, Evil Crash, for this up. Thank you very much. Yeah, the series is available online.
The man in Necromancer.
Okay, a mace and a shield.
Waits.
Okay, at that point, I don't think we're gonna take much. We already have 3 meals. I say the only thing we'll take is the Lone Spur potion. So yeah, let's that's right, I can't we're gonna have a okay, for 3. There we go. Oh yeah, we probably should have a look also at our special items. At this point, we might have to actually sort things out a little bit here, because we're almost out of item. At this point, the iron key and the brass key we can totally disregard. The scroll as well. So at that point, I'd say, yeah, let's keep the fire sphere and maybe the diamond. So far, it's seen no use whatsoever, but yeah, we never know. We never know. Alright, with that said, I think, yeah, we should all be ready to go. Yeah, this is book 5. Yeah, we have the Summer Sword, so of course we're totally well suited into that. Alright, so anyway, let's begin. Yeah, the Summer's Word. For 25 days, the Vassagonian galley sails on a steady course for its home port of Barakish, with only a brief stop at the Duranese harbor of Port Bax to break a safe but monotonous voyage. You use your time aboard the ship to good purpose, learning the Vassagonian language from the ship's crew. They are only too eager to teach you, asking only in return tales of your adventures in the last line. Nah, there's a Lone Wolf HD game, but sadly there's no lone wolf into the thing, so at this point that was the closest I could pick. Alright, they're asking only in return tales of your adventure in the last land. For many of the sailors, these are the most exciting stories they've ever heard. By the time you reach Barakish, you have both mastered their language and won their respect. It is early afternoon when the ramparts of the desert capital are first sighted on the horizon. You push your way through the cheering crew and join the envoy at the prow of the ship. Beaming with pride, he hands you a telescope and invites you to view the land of his birth. The sight is indeed breathtaking. You stare in fascination at the golden domes, minaret, and green tile roof shimmering beneath the desert sun, and marvel at the splendor of the great palace, which dominates this magnificent city. Then you notice from every golden turret of the palace flutters a long black pennant. You ask the envoy of the meaning of the black flags. Horror floods across his face as he snatches the telescope from your hands. By the spirit of the Majan! He is dead! The Zakan is dead! As the bad news spreads through the ship, you pray that the peace treaty will be signed and honored by the Zakan's successor. However, the envoy is less than hopeful. The harbor of Barakish is deserted save from a handful of citizens clad in black, and the only sound that greets you is the toll of a funeral bell, echoing through the harbor on this day of mourning. Then a horse-drawn carriage enters the harbor square, escorted by the cavalry of the palace guard. It halts, and a dour man in turquoise robe steps out to meet you. 1,000 greetings, Lone Wolf. I am Moke, and I welcome you to our city on behalf of my master, His Most Sublime Magnificence, Zakan Kima. The envoy gasps upon hearing the name of the new Zakan. He turns to speak, his eyes wild with fear. It's a trap! You must... His warning is cut short by the blade of Maok's dagger. Suddenly, scores of black-clad warriors emerge from the shadows. They are Sharnazim, elite Vassagonian bodyguards. They close in, surrounding you on every side. You must act quickly if you are to survive this deadly trap. So, do we wish to stand and fight against the overwhelming odds? Do we just surrender, or do we run back toward the galley? Alright, take them all! Alright, beat their asses. Alright. 2, 1. Alright, 3 votes for killing them, 1 for running away, unless that there's gonna be starting to have a sudden descent in the ranks. Alright, I don't like the idea of surrender, be a man, fight. Alright, 4 versus 2. Alright, we've got the summer sword and we're fully decked. Alright, let's go. The grim-faced Sharnazim encircle you, their razor-sharp scimitar glinting in the afternoon sun. Take him! Shouts Mao. But take him alive! Reluctantly, the warriors sheath their swords and wait for a chance to rush you. 6 lie dead at your feet before you are eventually overpowered. You are brave, Kai Lord, says Mao in a mocking tone. But you will need more than bravery to save you now. So yeah, your strip of your backpack, your weapons, your gold crowns, and all your special items. Alright, we lose everything. Oh boy. Alright, at that point I'm just gonna take a... Yeah, I'm just gonna do a quick snapshot of this somewhere else. Alright, so... Bye, 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 bye. Alright. But yeah, note your lost possession elsewhere in case that you find them later. Your hands are tied behind your back and you're pushed headfirst into the waiting carriage. Back to the palace! Commands Maok as he climbs aboard and slams the door. The Zakan awaits his prize. You fight to free the cords that bind you, but Maok is quick to see the danger. He grabs your arm and forces a dart into your skin. As sleep engulfs your senses, you hear Maok's wicked laughter fading into the silence. Alright, make necessary adjustment and list all the items that you've confiscated in case that we discover them later. You wake up in great discomfort. Every muscle of your body feels knotted and bruised. You force open eyelids clogged with dried sweat and look with dread at your wretched surroundings. You're lying on the hard stone floor of a prison cell. Over by the far wall, beneath a window crisscrossed with iron bars, is a low wooden bunk covered in filthy rags. Cockroaches, some the size of field mice, scuttle along a foul-smelling gutter that disappears into a grating in the floor. You discover that your hands are free and slowly pull yourself upright into a sitting position, resting your back against the cell door. A faint draught from the corridor outside provides the only relief from the stifling heat and bad air on the cell. Then there's a jangle of keys and the creak of hinges. A door closes with a dull thud. More footsteps. They're getting louder. They come to halt outside the cell door and a loud voice bellows out, "Sleeping on duty, Sifru! You'll wake up on the other side of this door if the captain catches you!" The chair scrapes along the ground, and a startled voice full of indignation replied, "Curse you, Haj! The Misakan doesn't want the Northlander taken to the Grand Hall until sunset! You've cheated me of 2 hours sleep!" "Shut up, Sifru!" snapped the first voice, "and listen hard. I've just come for the armory. Some interesting trinkets were found on the Northlander, worth a great deal of gold, I'd say. Seems a pity to let them go to waste, eh?" Two guards chuckle greedily and discuss settling the good time they will be able to have in the city once they have sold your equipment. "I'll take a peek at our friend," says one of the guards. "I wonder if he's enjoying our hospitality." A spio slides open above your head and you hear a gasp of shock. "He's gone! He's gone! By the Machan! We'll lose our heads!" You suddenly realize that you cannot be seen so close to the door. "Let me see," says the other guard, eager to see for himself. You hear the click of a lock in the lock. This could be your chance to escape. Do we attack the guards as soon as the door opens, or do we move away from the door and stand in the middle of the cell? Alright, snap their leg, kick him in the dick. Oh yeah, that's right. Right now I probably should set it up this way. I mean, yeah, here's our combat skill right now. We have 13 points of it. Thank you, Hephaestus, for the sub. Thank you very much. All right, attack, fight. Okay, at this point, yeah, everybody wants to fight. The guards pull open the door, and you spring into action. Your clenched fist strikes the first man beneath his bearded jaw, lifting him from the floor with the power of the blow. His sword drops from his hand and clatters to the ground close to your feet. So, alright, do we pick up the sword, or do we ignore it and fight the second guard with our bare hands? Alright, seize the sword, grab the sword. The sword. Sword, okay, alright, let's use the sword. Oh. Hands! Lone Wolf is angry! Alright, sword. Okay, let's go. You stoop to grab the sword, but as your fingers close around the hilt, the second guard attack. Alright, there we go. It's fight time. So, alright, at this point, yeah. Yeah, we have the sword, so let's put it here. Yeah, 17 ability. Okay, that point is 26 ability. The monster's got 21. And 3 is the combat ratio. Yeah, but that said the enemy gets first try, because yeah, ignore all endurance point lost by the enemy in the first round, for you can only parry his blow. So, alright, let's go with that. So, okay, random number table. Alright, let's choose. It's time to fight. Okay, 5 with a combat ratio. Okay, we lose 2 endurance points, and for this round, the enemy loses none. But now it's time to strike back. Okay, it's time to strike back sheepishly. Alright, the enemy takes 7 damage, and we take 3. Alright, let's keep going. Round 3. 6. The enemy takes 10 damage and... Alright, 10 damage and we take 2. Alright, round 4. 0. Alright, 16 damage and no damage to us. So, alright. Right, we're gonna put the endurance here, and there we go. We won! And we also won for 4 in 4 rounds or less. So let's go. Alright, the guard clutches at his wound and drops lifeless to the ground. You see that the other man is recovering from your blow and is clawing at the cell door to try to pull himself to his feet. So do you attack him or do we overpower him to capture him alive? Yeah, I'll explain how the fighting works the next time. Okay, alive, overpower. No mercy! Okay, alive, we can get info from a dead man, overpower. Okay, I'll wait and see if there's any descent in the rank before we overpower. Okay, capture, let's go. Grasp the frightened guard in a secure headlock and threaten to break his neck if he does not answer your questions. He immediately promises to tell you everything he knows. He says that the new Zakan fears that you are an assassin sent by his enemies in the west. He claims to hate the new Zakan himself. He's only a simple gaoler, he says, and knows nothing more. So, alright, we have 6 cents, let's go. This man is lying. He knows that other guards are sure to turn up at any moment. As soon as you loosen your grip, he will attempt to overpower you and raise the alarm. Do we continue questioning him or do we kill him? We were here in order to sign a peace treaty, but it appears that, yeah, we fell in a trap. So now we are in Vassagonia, we've just escaped jail, and apparently someone is very interested in our head. Alright, 2 question, 2 kill. Alright, no mercy, let's go. Your attack is swift and deadly. Before the guard can scream for help, you've silenced him for good with an open-handed chop to the neck. Do we wish to leave the bodies or do we search? Alright, have a rummage, search. Alright, let's go for search. Alright, a thorough search of both bodies uncovered the following item. A sword that we already have, a dagger, oh, and a warhammer. Alright. We're gonna actually pick that up because that's gonna actually, you know, put our combat skill back at 19 because of weapon skill. 6 gold crown and the jailer's key. Or gaoler, like I'm not sure how you're even supposed to say that. Alright, the gaoler's key should be worn attached to your belt. You remember to lock the cell door before you hurry off along the corridor. Gaol is pronounced jail. Okay, so they're just jailer. They're bad jailers. The corridor heads north, but soon ends at a junction where another passage runs across from east to west. Cautiously, you peer around the corner, but there are no signs of any guards. At the end of the east passage, you can see a flight of steps descending out of view. To the west, you see a closed door. Do we go to east toward the stairs or west toward the door?
It looks like you're
East! Thank you, Dark God, for the sub. Thank you very much. Alright, go west.
Yeah, groovy.
East.
Okay, so far I'd say it's about equal. Let's see who is going to be willing to break the tie. when everyone was on Laudanum. Ugh. Okay, let's go east toward the stairs. Alright, let's go. Descend the stairs and follow the corridor eastwards, taking care to tread lightly. The bars on windows high in the wall to the right cast lattice shadow across the smooth marble floor ahead. Beneath one of these windows stand a table on which rests a pitcher of water. Your throat is parched, and you stop to take a long drink. Restore 1 endurance point. We're already full. Do we wish to climb on the table and look on the window, or press on? I'd say they're average size. Like, I'd say this is still mostly like early high school level or end elementary school. Alright, spy through the window. Climb and look. Like, I wish I still had my books, because then I will be able to tell you for sure how many books or pages there were. But yeah, sadly, they're all at my parents' house. Alright, let's look. From the view, you judge by this window is set high up in the south wall of the Grand Palace. Oh yeah, sure, why not? Far below you can see the buildings of the capital in miniature clusters inside the white city wall. To the southeast lies Lake Inram, an immense saltwater plain that is completely dry and cracked. To the east, a road stretches across the causeway to the town of Shula, just visible on the horizon. To the south, I'm not sure if I'm gonna do other series at this point. I'm not knowledgeable about them at this point. I might as well just ask people, hey, do we continue on with this? Because there's still 2 more series of this. Alright, to the southwest lies the barren, sun-scorched Dahir Mountain and the shifting ocean of sand known as the Dry Main. The bars on the window are badly corroded. It will be easy to dislodge them. However, the drop of several hundred feet to the city below means that there is no hope of escaping this way. Just climb down from the table and hurry along the corridor. You arrive at a high-vaulted chamber with a large, nail-studded door set into the south wall. A rack standing near to the door holds a spear and a broadsword. You may take either or both of these as you wish. To the north, beneath a beautifully decorated horseshoe arch, is another passage that leads out of the chamber. Do we enter the passage or listen at the door first? Alright, listen.
Hey! Listen!
No, hold on. I can do better than that.
Hey! Listen!
Placing your ear close to the keyhole, you hear faint but horrible sounds. Screams of agony mingled with hysterical laughter and heart-rending sobs. The crack of a whip and the creaking of a rack confirm your suspicion that a torture chamber lies beyond this door. The terrible sounds make you shudder, and you waste no time in hurrying away from the chamber by the north door. Yeah, hold on a second. I'm just gonna post the picture that Cosmic Afro just ended up posting. Hold on a second. Copy link. So yeah, here's how big some of these books are. In fact, they're not all... wait, what's the other one? Oh, Rendezvous avec la mort. And the first... Alright, let's go. Okay, you move quickly and quietly along the north corridor and soon arrive at another arched passage that heads off to the west. A fierce glow can be seen in the distance, and you hear the hiss of red-hot steel as it is thrust into water, and the clang of hammer on anvil, the unmistakable sounds of a blacksmithy. Do we go west toward the north, or do we keep moving north? Okay, noise, noise. Okay, west. For everybody is attracted like a muff, like a muff is attracted to noise. A forge has been constructed in the center of a massive circular chamber, its funnel-like chimney stretching up to the roof. The heat had become unbearable long ago, but now you feel as if you've walked straight into a raging furnace. Two men, naked except for small loincloths, work the bellows that feed the forge. Sweat pours from their bodies, and they frequently stop to gulp ladlefuls of water from a trough set in the stone floor. An armorer hammers a strip of red-hot iron at an anvil close to the flame. He is massive. His huge muscle shoulders and powerful chest are as wide as the other two men put together. The bellowsmen stop work and leave the chamber, one by the door in the north wall, the other by the door in the west hall. The big man continues to hammer at the anvil. Do we follow the man who left to north? Do we follow the man who left west? Do we attack the armorer working at the anvil, or do we just leave the chamber and retrace our steps to the corridor to take the other passage? Yeah, the options, they are plentiful. Okay, kill, attack. Two votes for attacking the guy, one for going north. One for not attacking the big bloke. North. Yeah, remember, people, we don't have the summer sword. Okay. Seems like everyone wants us to go north. To reach the north door without being seen, you must work your way carefully around the chamber, dodging from one pillar to the next. Alright, pick a number. If you possess the Kai discipline of camouflage or haunting, deduct 2. Oh boy, alright. Smehan poorly. Alright, 6 minus 2 equal 4. Alright, let's go to here. You've barely taken a dozen steps before you are seen. The giant armorer raises a massive hammer and strides forward, a bloodthirsty snarl escaping from between his clenched teeth. You prepare to defend yourself, but you're momentarily stunned when you see that the hammer is part of his right arm. It is, in fact, an enormous steel fist. The armorer bellows a war cry and you react just in time. The hammer tears a chunk of stone from the wall less than an inch above your scalp. So, alright, 18 combat skill and 30 endurance, and deduct 2 points from your combat skill for the duration of the combat due to the terrible heat. Alright, so 18. Okay, at that point we have 26 against this guy's 30, and our combat ratio is gonna be -1. So, alright, it's time to roll. Okay, we're off to a good start. 8. Enemy takes okay, yeah. I might as well explain the combat here. First of all, you need to establish what the combat ratio is by checking out the difference between your combat skill and the enemies. Right now, it is -1 for this fight, so we have to go to the second column. And then we pick a number from the random table generator or the random number table, and we check out the column the row at which the number is. The first number that you see, the one on the left, is how much HP the monster loses, and the one on the right is how much you lose. Alright, we lose 1 HP and the enemy loses 8. Okay, 3. Alright, we take 4 damage, the enemy also takes 4 damage. Oh boy, 1. The enemy takes 2 damage, we take 5. Yeah, we might be biting off more than we can chew, this could be a hard one. 2. Oh boy, alright. The good rolls, they keep going. The enemy takes 3 damage, we take 5. Okay, 0, the good roll. The enemy takes 11 damage, we take none. And finally a 4. The enemy takes 5 damage, which results in them dying, and we lose, how much? Wait, 4. Okay, we lose 4. Alright, there we go. Thankfully we did win, so good job us. At that point, alright, let's put our HP back to 8. You are feeling weakened by the heat and by the fatigue of combat, but your spirits are high after having beaten such a formidable enemy. You search the armorer's body and discover 3 gold crowns and a copper key. Okay, let's put that onto our stuff. 3 gold and a copper key. So, if we have the guy discipline of tracking, yeah, let's go. Alright, you detect that the west door leads to the palace armory. Do we go west, or do we avoid the armory and leave the chamber by the north door? Yeah, all of the disciplines that we have, yeah, we have every discipline except for Mind Blast. Alright, yeah, at that point, it's a no-brainer. Let's go west. You hurry through the west door and into the welcoming cool of the corridor beyond. A large drawbar on the inside of the door catches your eye. You lock it to delay any would-be pursuer. At the end of the corridor lies a hall full of weapons. Racks of spears and swords line the chamber walls, and a massive workbench covers the floor. It is a palace armory. In the midst of the tools which litter the workbench, there is a large, black, leather-bound book. Do we examine the book, or do we ignore it in order to search for our equipment? Yeah, at that point, if we want to read, we're gonna have to read now, because we're not gonna have the option to go back to reading. Unless that the book is like, I don't know, evil or something. Right, look in the book. It is an armory log. The pages contain handwritten lists of all the work carried out there. Spears and swords made for the garrison of Caracalla, 1 shipment from the Vakar Mountains, weapons due for repair, and all manners of daily routines are carefully recorded. You're about to discard the log when you notice a folded piece of parchment tucked into the spine. It is a list of dates and numbers with a heading in bold print. The Bronze Door! You scan the page and locate today's date. The number listed next to it is 67. Make a note of this number in the margin. It could be of use at a later stage. Yeah, 67, remember. You throw the book back into the cluttered bench and begin to search for your missing equipment. Root through all the drawers and cupboards of the workbench, smashing locks when they refuse to open, only to be disappointed. These drawers and cupboard do not contain your missing equipment. All hope of signing a peace treaty with the new Zakan has vanished. Your only concern now is to find your equipment, escape from the Grand Palace, and somehow return home to Summerland as quickly as possible. You pull aside the lattice partition and enter a small antechamber. Narrow stone steps lead up to an open door in the north wall, beside which stands a wooden chest. Do we climb the steps and enter the door, or do we investigate the chest first? Alright, chest, loot, chest, check out that chest. Hey, okay, that's stupid. This chest is plain, except for a small square of red metal bolted to the top. There is no lock, but instinctively, you avoid opening the lid with your hands in case it is booby-trapped. Nearby, you notice a wooden bucket and a ladle. Using the ladle, you lever open the chest and push back the lid. The chest itself is not booby-trapped, but your caution was well placed. Coiled on a bed of jewel-encrusted mesas lies a yas, a non-poisonous but very large Vassagonian snake. A red forked tongue flicks out of its yellow head as it prepares to defend its valuable bed. Do we attack the yas, or do we just shut the chest down and immediately leave the armory by the north door? Alright, we don't need shiny mesas, we need cool magical stuff. Leave. Let the poor snake be. Alright, at that point, okay, not enough HP. So far, fleeing is winning. I'll see if there is another voice of dissent. Okay, there's no voice of dissent. Let's leave. You step into a perfect hemisphere. The walls of the chamber curve smoothly into the ceiling, where a small window casts a splash of light across the floor. There is a large circular dais in the center of the room laden with incense burner, decanters, quilts, scrolls, cloaks, urns, and all kind of fruit and sweet meat. A drawer catches your eye, protruding from beneath the lip of the dais. You recognize the contents. You have found your confiscated equipment. There we go! We got everything back. So at that point, yeah, we have 3 meals. Okay, hopefully it copies just well. Yes, alright. We're just gonna copy it this way, and let's not forget this. Alright, let's delete all of this. Oh, okay, I guess I am condemned to having spare squares onto my thing. So, alright, let's reestablish everything. At that point, we have the Summer Sword, 17 plus 8, 25. Plus the silver helm and the shield. Okay, we're back at 29. Alright, there we go. No, but that's because we can only carry 50 gold crowns at a time. So that's why. Elated by your discovery, you resolve to escape from the Grand Palace as quickly as possible. There's only one other door, apart from the one by which you enter the chamber, which is set into the north wall. Do we leave, or do we search the chamber for useful items? Nah, that's because that's how big our purse is. Oh yeah, I guess we can take a potion, why not? Alright, let's look for more stuff. You sift through the vast number of items that litter the dice. Hold on a second, I probably should get more HP. Separating the following articles, which may or may not be of use. A silver comb, an hourglass, a dagger, a healing potion. Alright, we might as well put it back. A prism, and enough food for 3 meals. I mean, at that point, we're pretty well stuffed up in meals. So at that point, do we take the prism? I mean, yeah, why not? Ah, but we'll have to discard something, though. Because I think it's a backpack item. I mean, we can drink it some more if we want. Yeah, let's ditch the whip. Right now, it hasn't seen any kind of use. All right, there we go. Prism. You follow a straight passage of pale rose-colored stone, which soon ends at an empty vestibule. In its north wall is set a great wooden door covered with engraved bronze plaques and studded with bronze nails. There's a curious lock set into the middle of this door, encircled by a beautiful carving of a long-tailed scorpion. A closer look at the lock reveals a series of Vassagonian numerals. numbered 1 to 200, engraved in the look. You recognize the design. It is a Cloisian combination look. Alright, do we know the correct number that will open the bronze door? If so, turn to the section number. Alright, yeah, our magical number, 67. Oh, or 69. Alright, is the correct number 67 or 69? Alright, you heard the chat. We put in 69. Alright. Oh, yeah, we're back here. It turns out that was incorrect. The soft shuffle of stealthy feet warns that you are no longer alone. You whirl around and crouch in readiness for combat. It is this automatic reaction to danger that saves you from a drug needle fired from a blowpipe. As the tiny missile clips the hood of your cloak, you see the firer reach into his belt pouch for another. Behind them are two warriors armed with sharp, barbed tridents. The three block your passage from the vestibule. So, alright, do we attack... Oh, do we attack them before the firer can unload the blowpipe, or do we not attack and try to dodge the blowpipe? Alright. My mistress with a monster is in love, near to her close and consecrated bower. While she was in her dull and sleeping hour, a crew of patches, ruined mechanicals, that worked for bread upon Athenian stalls, were met together to rehearse a play intended for great Theseus' nuptial day. The shallowest thick skin of that barren sword, who Pyramus presented in their sport, forsook his scene and entered in a break. When I did him a disadvantage take, an ass's null I fix on his head. What? So alright, one vote for matrixing it, one for attacking. So what else do people want to do? We're gonna need more than 2 votes in order to settle that issue. Alright, strike, attack, attack. Attack! Yeah, let's attack! With a tiger-like bound, you are among the startled guards. The blowpipe firer raises his weapon, but a well-aimed kick to the forehead counters his move. He somersaults backward, cracking his head against the wall with a sickening thud. A trident flashes toward your ribs. You sidestep and grab the haft with your free hand, pulling the guard off balance. He stumbles forward and falls flat on his face. You turn just in time to face the third guard. His trident is poised to stab you. Alright, let's go. That said, however, this fight is going to be much different than the other one. The enemy has an advantage in the endurance, but hey, we have a combat ratio of 14 now. So I'd say we should be good. 9! The enemy is instantly killed. Alright, let's go. You win the combat and the fight lasts 3 rounds or less. The man screams and keels over, writhing on the floor for a few moments before exhalting his last breath. Hold on a second, gotta have the endurance point back. Meanwhile, his partner has scrambled to his feet, forgetting his weapon in his hurry to escape along the passage. I mean, if we use the Warhammer, we get +2 combat to our combat skill, but right now we're using the Summer Sword, which is giving us 8 points. Also, how did they capture us? Sheer numbers. Alright, you give chase, pausing only to snatch up the discarded trident. You know you must stop him before he warns other guards. You draw back the trident and throw. It strikes him squarely in the back, pitching him downward as it makes impact. He is dead before he hits the floor. A search of the dead bodies uncovered the following items. 4 gold crowns, we can pick it up, a dagger, a sword, nah, and a potion of Helitor, which increases our combat skill by 2 points. Do we want to discard something in order to bring the Helitor forward? Okay, alright. I guess we're not gonna keep it. So, alright. You may also take the blowpipe and the remaining sleep dart. If we keep them, mark them on your action chart as backpack items. Okay, do we want to drop also something to get the blowpipe and dart? Okay, alright, let's drop the prism. Alright. There we go. Blowpipe and dart. In the rope of the dead blowpipe firer, you find a small piece of parchment on which is written today's date and the number 67. A smile creeps across your face as you realize that this is the number that will open the bronze door. You hold your breath and twist the dial. You hear a faint click followed by a soft whirring sound. The bronze door slides open. As you hurry through, the door clicks shut behind your back as softly as it had opened. Instinct tells you that you've entered the chamber of the Upper Palace, the sumptuous private enclave of the Zakan. You walk upon glistening tiles of opal and platinum, past sculpture and statues of pure gold. The door of solid amethyst ahead seems plain in comparison to the breathtaking splendor of this private world. Beyond the door lies another unique and startlingly beautiful world. The Arboretum. A circular cathedral-like arena spreads out below you, the green velvet canopy alive with the sound of birdsong. Trees of every color, shape, and size flourish in the deep, dark soil of the floor. The Zakan's Arboretum houses a specimen of every tree that grows in Magnamond and many species that are now extinct elsewhere. As you walk the wrought iron balcony which encircles the Arboretum, you recognize the leaves of a sunlending oak. You feel a sudden wave of homesickness, but it does not make you despair. Rather, it renews your determination to escape from this hostile, sun-bleached land. At one of the exits from the Arboretum, you discover a quarterstaff propped against the wall. Nah, screw that. The desire to escape urges you on as you leave the Arboretum and hurry through a network of lavish corridors and empty, deserted vestibules. You reach a landing where a broad staircase descends to a massive room that occupies most of the lower palace. From the top of the staircase, hidden by the shadow of a pilaster, you stare down on a sight that freezes your blood with terror. Upon a raised platform, carpeted with scarlet fur, sits the Vassagonian Emperor, Zakan Kima, his robe in gold, but devoid of all ornamentation. In his hand is a orb of black metal, and in his eye an ice-cold cruelty that chills your spine. The Zakan is a man of awesome countenance, but he pales in the shadow of his companion. Before him stands the cause of your terror. A helm as black as death itself hides the face, but the stench of decay and a hideous sepulchral voice betray the identity.
Give me Lord Wolf!
It is the fell voice of a mortal enemy, a dark lord of Helgeb. As the Zakan rises to his feet, you notice a flicker of doubt, or perhaps of fear, dim his cruel gaze, but he's quick to mask it. He will be brought to you at sunset in exchange for the orb of death. It is agreed.
You have the orb!
Echoes the chilling voice.
Give me Lord Wolf!
Now, the Dark Lords are essentially our sworn enemies. They're pretty much like the big bad of the universe. The Zakan hides his fear well, but time is not on his side. The game of golf of bluff he's playing is deadly. However, the fact that he has not yet been discovered is evidence of his powerful will, for you sense the Dark Lord is persistently clawing and probing at his mind. You will get your Northlander, Lord Akon, said the Zakan, his voice curt with anger. When you tell me why your servants defiled the tomb of the Majan, you claim to have no need for golds and jewel. Why then do you plunder the graves of our ancestor? A deathly quiet fills the hall. Only the unnatural hiss of the Dark Lord's breath disturbs the silence.
This land, this insignificant bit of sand, Arbors too small thorns that prickers kill. We seek to remove them both. Forever. The fleshing Kai, lone wolf, is the thorn that denies the summer lord. The tomb of the Magnikai hides the other thorn that threatens us. The accursed book of the Magnikai.
Your heart pounds as the word echo in your head. The Book of the Magnikai! Suddenly, the reason why you have been enticed into a deadly trap becomes clear, and the sinister truth is revealed. The Book of the Magnikai is one of the oldest legends of Summerlund. With the wisdom of the Magnikai, Sun Eagle, the first Kai Grandmaster, instilled the discipline into the warrior of the House of Ulnar, the bloodline of your king, that were to save your land from devastation at the hands of the Dark Lord. The Book of the Magnikai was lost hundreds of years ago, but its wisdom was kept alive, handed down through generation of Sumlending warriors so that they could share the strength to resist their eternal enemies, the Dark Lords of Helgeb. If the Dark Lords discover and destroy the Book of the Magnikai, the secret will be lost forever, and when you die, the Kai will become extinct. However, if you discover the Book of the Magnikai first and deny the Dark Lords their prize, all the wisdom of the Magnikai will be revealed to you. Through its wisdom, you will become strong enough to reach the ultimate achievements for a Sumlending warrior, to become a Kai Grandmaster. However, the peril and the glory of the quest that lies ahead are distracting you from more immediate danger. Discover this danger and to begin the quest of the Book of Magnikai, turn to part 2 of Shadow of the Sand. Yep, this book is split in two, so alright, I'd say before we begin part 2, I'll take maybe a quick break, like a quick 5-minute break, and then have to. Oh. What an emote. Or what a set of emotes. I mean, we're not Grandmaster Psych, but hey, it all lies on the audience if they want us to go that far. I mean, yeah, it's the Kai Kama Sutra, in which you learn how to fuck your enemies to death. Or to fuck up your enemies. Nah, actually, you know what? Nah, I'm gonna take another gulp of water. At that point, just doing the voice actually hurt my throat. Go me. Nah, it's okay. The Revenant boss can be very easily dispatched with the Summer Sword. Alright, at this point I'd say, yeah, let's continue. Alright, begin your adventure at 201. Part 2. Suddenly, you catch sight of two warriors creeping toward you from a passage to your right. They are clad in jet black armor and scarlet robes, and their hideous death mask identify them as Dracarim warriors. They are men. But they are evil men, as evil as the Dark Lords whom they serve. One of them holds a razor fang Akataz, a creeping leathery war dog, straining on a chain leash. The Drakkar hisses and the Akataz springs toward your throat. Do we fight it, or do we try to evade and escape? Alright, fight! Fight the doggo. Alright, looks like we're fighting. Beat the beastie. The Ekatas leap through the air at your face. You fall backward, kicking with both feet, but you are winded as the war dog jolts the air from your lungs. It slashes your shoulder, lose 1 endurance point. Before cartwheeling over the edge of the stair, its howl cut short as it smashes into the marble floor of the lower palace. You spring to your feet and draw your weapon, or the Dracarim are running toward you. A terrible roar of hate and rage fills the hall. Kill him! The Dracarim unsheathe their black sword, eager to obey their master's command. They attack you simultaneously. Alright, let's go. Like at that point, these guys are just a piece of cake. Except that they're a cake that is toxic, I don't know. So yeah, you can evade the combat at any time by running in the adjoining passage. How about we don't do that? That sounds like an idea for wimps and quillers. Alright, hate. Alright, the enemy's insta-kill. Good job, everyone. If you win, yeah, we won. I wonder how. Glimpse the silhouette of Dark Lord Hakon in the hall below, his spiked fist raised. There is a deafening crack as a bolt of blue lightning streaks from a stone in the Dark Lord's hand and hurtles toward you. You dive for cover behind the body of the Drakkar as the bolt explodes. In a flash of light, the Drakkar is gone. Wait, hold on a second. Did I switch the scene? Okay, I did. Because I wrote something in the chat by accident. In a flash of light, the Drakkar is gone. Only cinders and the rotten odor of scorched flesh remain. You scramble to your feet and sprint along the passage. Another bolt hurtles from the hall, tearing into the ceiling with shattering effect. Splinters of razor-sharp marble whistle down, slashing your cloak and tunic. You race down some stairs, through a silver archway and along a balcony that overlooks the lower palace. A peal of bells and the crunch of iron-shod boots echo in your ears. The Zakan has sounded the alarm, his guards close in on every side. At the end of the balcony are another arch and a staircase. Both look deserted. Do we escape through the arch or race up the stairs? Right, up arch. Okay, go through the arch. Alright, up the stairs. Alright, 2 and 2. 2 and 3. Upstairs, upstairs, upwards. Alright, is there any other consensus? Somebody wants to provide a dissenting opinion? I choose to shit on the floor. Okay, stairs. The blood is pounding in your ears as you bound up the marble steps. 20 feet ahead of you, there is a landing with a stone door set into the wall. The stairs continue to ascend to a parapeted walkway, at the end of which is another stone door, identical to the first. Suddenly, the door on the first landing swings open and a palace guard wheels round to face you. "Bajan!" he cries, fumbling for the hilt of his sword. Do we attack him before he draws his weapon, or do we barge him aside and continue climbing the stairs? Alright, attack. Take him down, attack. Alright. The audience is always bloodthirsty. Yeah, push him down the stairs. Alright, let's go. Using your skill for unarmed combat taught to you by your Kai masters, you grab the startled guard by the throat and pitch him over the low wall at the edge of the landing. His cry of terror fills the air until it crashes into the flagstone below. If you wish to continue climbing the stairs toward the door, alright, or do we enter the door through which the guard came? Alright, keep climbing. We might as well keep going. Climb. Alright, ascend, ascend. Alright, let's go. A crossbow bolt grazes your shoulder as you reach the walkway, making you dive for cover behind its low parapet wall. You lose 1 endurance point. Right? 2 more bolts ricochet from the stone lip, barely inches from your head. The stone door is shut, secured by an iron bolt on this side. To pull open the bolt, you will have to expose yourself to crossbow fire, for the bolt is clearly in view above the lip of the wall. Ah, that's okay, we got it all, so no worries. If we lost everything, it would have sucked, but it will not have affected, like, anything. We could have dealt with it. So, alright, at that point, we have Kai Discipline of Mind Over Matter. Stare at the bolt. Oops. Did he even had? Ah, okay, alright. Stare at the bolt, willing it to move. The sound of running footsteps behind you sends a cold shiver down your spine as you realize that the Dracarim are storming the stairs. Then, slowly, the bolt begins to move. As soon as it clears the bolt hole, you pull open the stone portal and race through, unaware of what lies beyond. Yeah, what his mind doesn't matter. Yep. Beyond the portal lies a vaulted corridor leading to a grand stairway. You narrowly avoid confrontation with a dozen Dracarim, saved by your lightning reactions. As the enemy rush from an archway in the second floor landing, you dive behind the statue of the recently deceased Zakan Mudala. They are so intent on their chase that they fail to notice your hiding place and hurry down the stairs, grunting in their heavy armor as they run. Silently, you give thanks that Zakan Mudalov was a very stout man, and that his statue cast a very large shadow in which to hide. Yep. Hey, the last Zakan was fat! At the top of the stairway, you discover a hatch, which gives access to the roof. You climb through it and follow a path of sun-bleached tile that wind in and out of the domes and turrets, eventually leading to a bell tower. You are exhausted and need to rest, your mind still full of the shock of your encounter with Dark Lord Hakon. The sound of his terrible voice repeating the word,
Book of the Magnikai,
echoes again and again in your mind. With desperation sapping your will, you peer out through a grill in the bell tower. The sight before you renews your flagging hope, for it inspires a daring escape plan. Below the bell tower, you see a line of Itikar pens, each with its own circular landing platform. Itikar are a breed of huge black birds that nest in eyries high in the peaks of the Dahir and Vakar mountains. The Vassagonians have long since tamed these giants of the skies, using them as wing mounts for their army leaders, their scouts, couriers, and envoys. An Itikar and rider swoop down out of the reddening sky and alight upon the platform nearest to the bell tower. Slaves hurl a rope to the rider, who in turn fixes it to a saddle ring before he jumps to the ground. The Itikar caws and beats its huge wings as it is slowly winched into the pen by a hidden capstan. The rider and the slaves leave the platform. There's only now one sentry on guard at the pen. If you can overpower him, you can make your escape on the back of the giant bird. We have a blowpipe and dart. Okay, taking care to load the blowpipe correctly, you raise the unfamiliar weapon to your lips and take aim. The sentry is standing very still. He makes a perfect target. You inflate your cheeks and fire. Alright, let's pick a number. 4, and we have weapon skill, plus 2 equals 6. The guard raises a hand to the back of his neck and removes the tiny dart, but before he realizes what has happened, he keels over unconscious, spread-eagled on the landing platform. Alright, at this point I'd say we can remove it. You can hear the clatter of running feet echoing across the palace roof. The Dracarim have arrived. You must act quickly if you are to avoid them. Do we search the body of the guard, or do we just rush in the Itikar pen? Okay, search the body. Search. Loot. Alright, let's go. You discover very little of interest. 8 gold crowns and a brass whistle and a chain around the guard's neck. You may take these if you wish, but remember to mark them on your action chart. Brass whistle is a special item worn on a chain around the neck. Okay, we still have room, so fuck it. We're just gonna pick it up. Alright, are you ready to tame a bird? Yeah! Suddenly, a noise alerts you to unwelcome company. Dracarim are rushing along the tile pathway that leads to the pen. Without a moment's hesitation, you turn and run inside the Ithaqar's enclosure. The great blackbird beats its massive wing, cawing hoarsely through the dome pen. 2 black eyes, fierce and cold, fix you with a deadly stare as you edge nearer to its perch. Grabbing the saddle pommel, you haul yourself up, but suddenly there's a flash of razor-sharp talons. Instinctively, you shield your face as a glint of orange sunlight is caught on the Ithaqar's curved beak, for it slashes the hair barely inches above your head. Yeah, the Dracarim are essentially the foot soldier of the Dark Lords. Alright, we have animal kinship. Yes, we do. It can take many years for a rider to tame an Ithaqar, for by nature they are wild and malicious creatures. You use your Kai skill to communicate with the giant bird, to assure it that you mean no harm. It fixes you with a cold black stare, but you sense that it is no longer hostile. As you settle in its wide saddle, you catch sight of the Dracarim as they stream across the gangplank. Quickly, you lean forward, unhook the anchor rope from the saddle ring, and grab the thick leather rein. You are jerked backwards in the saddle as the Ithaqar leaves its perch. It shrieks and caws, its wings beating as loud as thunder. A handful of Dracarim are scattered as if they were ragdoll as the great black bird emerges from the pen and takes to the sky. You catch a glimpse of a Drakkar, its death mask slashed in two by the bird's razor-sharp talon, as he pitches from the landing platform and tumbles to his death in the palace garden far below. There we go. A picture of a Drakkar currently dying. It's like, his helmet got fucked up, and he seems very nonchalant about dying, however. Just, whatever. The golden domes of the Grand Palace grow smaller as the Ithaqar gather speed. Soon, you have passed over the city wall and are heading out toward the shimmering salt flats of Lake Hinraeum. The land below is bathed in beautiful orange twilight as the sun slowly sinks behind the Dahir Mountains to the west. Elated by your escape, you throw back your head and give voice to a triumphant yell that is carried away in the chill evening wind. As if in answer to your cry, an echoing chorus of shriek pierces the sky. Fear returns to your heart as you catch sight of a flock of Kran, hideous leathery winged flyers. Each carry a Dracarim warrior on its back. They are over a mile behind you, but they're quickly closing the gap. Less than an hour of light remain. If you can evade them a little longer, you may be able to lose them when the night falls. You must decide in which direction to fly, for you're now above the center of Lake Hinraeum. Consult the map before making your decision. Alright, do we steer the Ithaqar south toward Dahir Pass, or do we go toward Shula? Okay, one moment. At that point, we need the big thing. So yeah, right now, we're over here. Do we go all the way over there? Or do we go east to the town which is over there? Now, at that point, we're just trying to escape Vassagonia. Alright, so 1 vote for town. Yeah, at that point, I'm just gonna bring it back to the other thing. Can we hide better in the sky or in the town? Alright, hit the town, in the town, go south. Town. Alright, I guess we're going to town. Alright. Shula time! You can clearly see the main highway that links Shula to the capital. It crosses the desolate salt plain of Lake Inram by means of a causeway 30 feet high and is a useful landmark by which you can steer. Little stone houses with beaten earth roofs are grouped in small clusters along the highway, their numbers increasing as you draw nearer to the town. You are 5 miles from Shula when you notice a dark cloud hovering several hundred feet above one of the small villages. It is a cloud of Kran. They are moving to intercept you. Suddenly, the Ithikar squeals in pain, and a splash of feather billows out from its wing. A Kran is closed in from behind. It is less than 100 yards distant. The Drakarim rider holsters an empty bronze crossbow and draws his black sword. His bolt has passed through the wing of your mount, and he prepares to strike as the Ithikar loses height and speed. Alright, it's time to fight. Combat ratio of 9. I mean, at that point, I shouldn't even write the numbers because, hey, the Kran and its rider are swooping on you from behind. You will only be able to fight for 1 round before they're carried past the momentum of their attack. So, alright, let's see how it goes. We only got 1 move. Ah, that's right. We're insured of winning. Like 9. We got 5. Alright, we lose 2 endurance points. Okay, there we go. The enemy lost more HP than us. Hold on, what was this? Your blows open a wide gash in both the Drakkar and its mount. The Kran spins uncontrollably, discarding the black-clad rider as it spirals earthward. With the terrible cries of the doomed Drakkar fading below, you wheel to the south to avoid being caught between the 2 converging squadron of Kran riders. The quick change of direction increases the distance between you and your pursuer, but the Ithikar is badly wounded and you are close to despair. Your mount is losing so much blood that it collapses into unconsciousness at any moment, dropping you like a stone onto Lake Inram. Suddenly, you spot something in the distance. It is a sight that renews your faith in miracles. Emerging from a bank of cloud on the skyline is a flying ship. It is a small craft, no bigger than an Unoram river barge, with 2 triangular sails swept back either side of the curving prow. In the fading twilight, you can make out a long pennant that flutters from its mast. A faint humming reaches your ears. Your first reaction is disbelief. What you are seeing must be a trick of the light or some fiendish illusion created by the Dark Lord. However, as the ship floats nearer, your sense tells you that it is indeed quite real. So, have we ever been given a crystal star pendant? I don't think that we did. So, alright, let's go there. You recognize the flag that flies above a fortified platform in the center of the strange craft. It is the crescent and crystal star ensign of the magician's Guild of Toran, a city in northern Summerlund. The sky ship is commanded by some lending wizard, one of your own countrymen. He's a blonde-haired young man dressed in long, dark blue robes. You are so stunned by the fateful appearance of the craft that you fail to notice the blood seeping from the Ithikar's mouth. The creature is near to death. Suddenly, the great bird lets out a pitiful and agonizing caw. Its wings stiffen, and its head falls limply forward as the last flicker of life escapes from its torn body. You are pitched forward, and your stomach heaves as you plummet toward Lake Inram. I mean, we have technically met the Magician Guild of Toran in the Caverns of Kald, because the wizard that helped us capture Vonotar was also a man of that said guild. But hey, this is essentially a check of, did you get the 6th sense on the first book? But enough about that, it's time for the random number table to decide our fate. 7, alright, 5 to 8. A chill air whips past your face as you tumble toward Lake Inram. The Kran riders, the sky ship, and the distant horizon all melt into a kaleidoscope of shapes and images. You fear these will be the last thing you will ever see. You've prepared yourself for death and feel calm and relaxed. Suddenly, you feel your body engulfed by a mass of sticky fiber. There is a terrific jolt which leaves you breathless and stunned. You lose 2 endurance points. The impossible is happening. You are no longer falling, but rising. You have been caught by a net of sticky strands like a fly in a web. You rise into the sky toward the flying ship as quickly as you fell. 3 bearded dwarfs clad in bright paddle battle jerkins pull you aboard an outrigger that runs the length of the hull. There is no time to express your gratitude, for a small skyship is under attack from the Cran Riders. At the end of the outrigger, a dwarf is in hand-to-hand combat with a snarling Drakkar. He is losing the battle. As you rush to help him, another of the evil warriors lands in the center of the craft, on top of the fortified platform. Alright, do we help him out, or do we leap from the outrigger onto the fortified platform? Alright. I'd say, yeah, the consensus is help dwarf. Yep. The Drakkar is strangling the dwarf. As he catches sight of you, he releases his grip and smashes his mail fist into the subscription. Thank you, Penny, for the 33 months of sub. Thank you very much.
Yeah, groovy.
Help him out.
Alright. He releases his grip and smashes his mail fist into the dwarf's face, sending him tumbling into space. You are inflamed by this cold-blooded murder. You draw your weapon and attack. There we go. And owing to your speed, you don't lose any endurance point during the first round. So, alright, now it's us who has an advantage. So, combat skill 11. Alright, let's see how we're doing. Alright, 4. Okay, 4. The enemy takes 12 damage, and we take none for this encounter, or for this round. And now, anything goes. 9. Okay, the monster is insta-killed. Good job, everyone. Alright, if you win, let's go. The Drakkar falls to his knees and makes a horrible rasping noise as he tries in vain to prise open his shattered death mask. Your blows has stave in his helm, and the buckle metal has fractured his skull. You lash out with your foot and kick him from the outrigger, sending him spiraling down to Lake Inram to join the dwarf he murdered. But the dwarf is neither dead nor hundreds of feet below. He hangs by his foot, unconscious, snagged in the netting below the outrigger board. You grab the dwarf's leg and haul him to safety before continuing the fight. The platform looks empty. No heads are showing above its armored parapet, but you sense something is wrong. Instinctively, you leap from the outrigger onto the main hall, your weapon poised to sky to strike. Ducking beneath the boom sail, you clamber upon the platform in time to witness a desperate struggle. The blonde-haired magician is pinned to the deck, his left arm skewered by a spear. With a staff in his right hand, he's trying to fend off the dismounted Cran Rider. The Drakkar senses your presence. He whirls round and draws a twisted black scimitar from its scabbard. Okay. It's essentially more of the same. It's another Drakkar with almost the same stats as earlier. So, alright, let's go. 11. 2. Okay, the enemy takes 10 damage, we take 2. Also, the Lone Wolf, it is going very well right now. People have been doing this book like big, responsible people. I am so proud. Alright, 9 damage to the enemy, 3 damage to us. Okay, 6. Okay, what is 6? 16 damage to the enemy, 1 damage to us. Alright, the enemy is dead. Long live the enemy. Oh yeah, we win the combat in 3 rounds or less. But hey, in case that it went to a 4th round, it says, hey, if the fight continues to a 4th round, don't continue it. Instead, turn to this number. But whatever, we are skilled in murder. The Drakkar curses you with his dying breath, his cry fading as he falls from the platform. You rush to aid your wounded countryman, but the battle is not over yet. A Cran Rider is swooping toward you, a crossbow leveled at your head. He fires, and the bolt shoots toward your face. Then a shrill, metallic whine rings in your ear as the bolt miraculously ricochets away, deflected by an invisible shield. Alright, we've never been given a star pendant, so alright, let's go. See the young magician lower his staff, a trace of a smile on his pain-raked face. Alice, I was too slow to shield myself, he says wryly as you kneel at his side and free the spear that pins him to the floor. The wound is serious and you hastily staunch the bleeding with strips of cloth from his dark blue robes. The wizard then introduced himself. I am Benedon, Journey Master to the Guild of the Crystal Star. He says, his voice weak and shaky. However, you need not introduce yourself, Lone Wolf, for only you will attract such company this far from home. He glances at the Cran Rider swooping past the skyship on every side. Help me to my feet. We must escape before they drag us from the sky. You support the wizard as he grasps the ship's helm, a radiant crystal sphere with hundreds of glowing facets set upon a slim silver rod. No sooner has his hand closed around the crystal that there is a tremendous explosion. Yeah, the books are in order. I mean, you can skip away a couple of books if you want to. It's just that, hey, you're not gonna be as well level up. It's like every time you finish a book, you get an extra discipline. Okay, why do I have numbers now wherever the hell they want to be? The explosion is followed by a huge cloud of smoke, which engulfs a cabin perched on the rear deck. As the noise rumbles across the desolate salt plain, you hear the agonizing shriek of a wounded Cran. It spirals past the platform, a ragdoll rent in its broken wing. The smoke clears to reveal the grinning face of a dwarf at the cabin window. Smoke clears to reveal the grinning face of a dwarf at the cabin window. A smear of soot blackens his rosy cheek and exaggerates the whiteness of his crooked teeth. He is holding a tube of smoking steel that you assume to be a magic staff. Until you notice that each of the dwarf crew carries identical staves. As they point them at the swooping Cran, gouts of smoke and flame billow from their tips. Suddenly you recognize the weapons and their wielders. They are the dwarves from the mountain kingdom of Bor, armed with one of the inventions from which these ingenious artisans are just famous throughout Magnamond. Yeah, they have guns! The Cran are terrified by the noise. They turn their leathery tails and fly away, their Drakram riders powerless to stop them. The primitive guns have claimed only one victim, but nevertheless, they have driven off the enemy and saved the sky ship from disaster. Benedon steers the craft about, banking steeply until the ship faces the darkening peaks to the southern mountains and the distinct V-shaped cleft of the Dahir Pass. Alright, let's pick a number. Alright, 5. The dwarves are clearing the deck of battle debris. A dead Drakkar lies sprawled face down across a pile of chests and sack roped beneath the boom sail. As the dwarf grabs his legs to cast him over the side, he surprisingly springs to life, sending the dwarf tumbling in all directions. He screams like a fiend, his black axe cutting a wide arc around his blood-smeared body. A curse, vile and evil, echoes from his death mask as he draws back the axe to throw. His target is you. Alright, do we have Hunting or Sixth Sense? Yes, we do. Alright, good night, not everybody. Steve, thanks for coming by. Alright. Dive aside, your Kai skill saving you from the axe that is spinning toward the platform. Suddenly, a deafening bang rings out and the Drakkar is flung backwards, his breastplate torn open by dwarf shot. He gives a long, agonizing death cry as he disappears from sight, tumbling into the darkness that surrounds the speeding skyship. As if in answer to the shot, a menacing roll of thunder rolls across the darkening plain from Barakish. It is as if the city itself were cursing your escape. Benadon appears at your side, his face lined with concern. As he offers a shaky hand to help you to your feet, you notice that the makeshift bandage which binds his wound is soaked with blood. He's pale and weak and close to collapse. Alright, we have healing. Clasping your hands around Benadon's injured arm, you concentrate your Kai skill on healing the torn muscle and splintered bone. The warmth of your healing power numbs the pain and repairs the internal damage sufficiently to be able to remove the soaked blood strips of cloth. The wound is still open, but you have saved the limb. "We'll help him now, Lone Wolf," shouts a strange voice. You are surprised by this bold claim and turn around to discover who has made it. Two dwarves clamber upon the platform and hurry to their young captain's side. One flicks open a red velvet satchel strapped to his barrel-like chest and removes a glass vial and a clean linen bandage. They attend to the wound, and as his strength returns, Benadon listens intently to your account of the terrifying events that have led to this meeting. As you conclude your woeful tale, Benadon speaks, his voice full of grim determination. "The future of Summerland rests in our hand, Lone Wolf. We must stop Dark Lord Hakon from destroying the Book of the Magnikai. I have heard tell of the tomb of the Majon from the nomads of the Dry Main. They say it is a terrible place, a place of horror and death. But what little left is left to die there. It lies beyond the Mahir, near the oasis of Balloftan. That is all I know. But the Majan hid their tombs well, and what few traces remain have long since disappeared beneath the shifting sand of the Dry Main." Your face conveys the disappointment you feel upon hearing these words. However, all is not lost, says Benadon, undaunted. There is a man who can guide us there. His name is Tipasa Hedaruk, Tipasa the Wanderer. It is he who we must seek, for he is the only man who has ever entered the tomb of the Machan and lived to tell the tale. Benadon takes over the helm as his extraordinary ship, the Skyrider, as the dwarves call it, speeds through the gathering sky toward the Dahir Pass. Visibility diminishes with each passing minute until finally you can see no further than the outriggers. You feel uneasy. The Skyrider veers but a fraction, of course. You will be smashed to pieces against the mountainside. "Do not worry, Lone Wolf," says Nullrim, the dwarf with the velvet satchel. "The captain will see us through." Benadon stands with his hand resting lightly on the glowing crystal, relaxed as if in a trance. His eyes are closed and a crackle of energy, like fine white lightning, traces an intricate pattern over his forehead and temple. The dwarf leads you to the cabin at the rear of the craft where the crew are excitedly recounting their victory over the Cran Riders. They are seated about a table cluttered with plates of steaming food and jugs of foaming ale. The rich smell of spiced meat and boar brew fills your nostril, reminding you of how ravenously hungry you are. You make short work of the meat and marrow placed before you. You get 3 endurance points back. However, you are unsure about accepting a jug of ale. Boar brew is so strong that in many cities of Magnamond it has been banned for fear of the havoc it can cause. Alright, do we accept the jug of the notorious ale or do we decline? Alright, chug, 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 chug. Chug, 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 chug. Let's get pissed. I got this feeling. We're gonna get drunk. Alright, the ale is thick and creamy, with a taste like malted apples. You lower the half-empty tankard and wipe away the froth from your lip with your sleeve. Alright, pick a number. If your current endurance point is less than 15, subtract 2. If our endurance point is above 25, add 2. If we reach the rank of Savant, add 3. Alright, let's go. I like these odds. Alright. 5 plus 2, 7, plus 3, 10. Alright. The dwarves continue their meal, pausing only to light large hooded pipes. Throughout the bluish hue of the pipe smoke that cloud the low cabin roof, you notice that they are casting nervous glances at you, as if you might explode at any moment. After 5 minutes have passed, Nullrim Nolrim raises his tankard and proclaims a toast. To Lone Wolf, a man amongst dwarves! The dwarves guffaw at Nolrim's wry toast and raise their tankards in a salute to your courage and fortitude. The war brews loosen their tongues and they're eager to tell you of their past exploits. You learn that the dwarves were once the crew of a more conventional vessel, a merchantman that sailed the Tentarias of southern Magnamon. The Tentarias is a vast expanse of lakes and landlocked seas which connect to form a continuous canal stretching nearly 3,000 miles. They were created, as was the Rime Rift of Duranor, by a massive landslide. 3 years ago, the dwarf's former captain, a dwarf named Kwan, lost his ship, cargo, and crew whilst gambling at cards. It seemed the unfortunate captain was unaware of Benedon's true profession until it was far too late. As a result, Benedon became the dwarf's captain, and ever since they have adventured with him across the lands and sky of southern Magnamon. The Skyrider itself was given to Benedon by the magicians of Desi, in return for his help in defeating the Gegedut, a monstrous creature that terrorized their lands, over which their own sorcery could not prevail. The Skyrider was traveling from Desi on its way to Barakesh when you first appeared. The dwarves have overheard your talk with Benedon and are excited by the prospect of a new adventure. They seem undaunted by the deadly dangers that we will certainly involve. The fatigue of your ordeal finally catches up with you. You're finding it impossible to keep your eyes open. Nolrim shows you to a bunk in the hull of the Skyrider. Gratefully, you climb onto bed and pull the blanket over your aching limbs. Nolrim apologizes that the bunk is too short, but his words fall on deaf ears. You're already asleep. Restore 2 endurance points for this much-needed rest. You wake shortly after dawn to the sound of snoring dwarves and the low hum of the Skyrider. Gathering your equipment, you climb on deck to find everything in shadow. For the Skyrider is hovering beneath a massive outcrop of sandstone that juts out from the side of a mountain, thousands of feet above the valley floor below. Benedon stands at the helm, but he's no longer in trance. Tran Riders, he says, pointing to the sun-bleached valley beyond the shadows. They arrive with the dawn. You stare out across this alien landscape, a mountain valley filled with pillars of massive and precariously balanced boulders. The Vassagonian call this place the Koos, the Needles. The rocky column reached so high into the sky that an avalanche seemed unavoidable. Perched upon 2 of the column are Kran. They're Dracarim riders scouring the valley with telescopes. An hour passes before they take to the air and disappear. Trim the boom sail, Bosun Nolrim, orders Benedon, his voice barely audible above the increasing hum of the Skyrider. We've a fast run ahead. Alright, we have a black crystal cube. No, we don't. So, alright. The voyage through the Koos is breathtaking. The Skyrider glides between the towers of rock that rise from the valley floor with fantastic and unearthly grandeur. Far below, sulphurous water bubbles from fissure in the orange ground and streams of hissing lava carve circular channel, which glows like mote of liquid fire. You watch the sky, but there are no signs of the enemy. Ikarish, says Benedon pensively. The Eagle's Lair. That is where we will find Tipasa, the Wanderer. It is the place of his birth and the home of his family. He roams a dry main, but he always returns to Ikarish. It is late afternoon when you reach the hills beyond the Koos that overlook the town of Ikarish. Benedon moors the Skyrider to a pinnacle of stone, and a rope ladder is lowered to the ground. Alright, have a good night, Penanning. Thanks for coming by. It has been decided that you and he will enter Ikarish on foot and locate Tipasa, while Nolrim and the crew wait in hiding for you to return. The sight of the Skyrider hovering above the mountain town will be sure to arouse unwanted interest in your arrival. You and Benedon prepare yourself for this mission by staining your skins with brown kopalov berries and dressing in the gray and white robes commonly worn by the mountain people of this region. You bid farewell to Nolrim and set off across the barren hills. Alright, pick a number. Alright, 6. You trudge through the loose red sand, your faces covered to protect them from the dust and the blazing heat. The landscape is stark and desolate. All that seems to thrive here is the wire-hard grass that scratches your boots and legging. You soon come across a dried riverbed that leads to a cave in the orange sandstone hillside. A wooden plaque is nailed by the mouth of the cave, but you're unable to understand the strange word painted on its sun-blistered surface. Do we check out the cave or do we press on toward the carriage? Alright, cave dwellers. Alright, spelunking, let's go. Rows of stalactites hang from the roof of the cave. Like the fangs of some incredible monster, and the bubbling of a distant geyser echoes eerily through the unknown depths. You begin to explore and eventually reach a place where a natural bridge of rock arches over a steaming course of water, red with ore. Huddled beneath the bridge is a pathetic figure, its body bent and emaciated. A tattered blanket covers his face, and in his withered hand he clutches a crude fishing rod. A small catch of lava crabs lie on the bank, their claws twitching as they slowly die. As you move nearer, the figure raises his face to stare at you. It is a man, but the sight of his face shocks you to the core. Alright, we have healing. The whole man's face is a mask of putrescent green sores. The pupil of his eyes are yellow, and his ragged gray lips hang in tatters. He suffers from Vaxillus, an infectious disease that rots the skin and attacks the nerve, resulting in hideous mutilation and deformity. He has been cast from his community, banished into this cave where he must eke out his last few years of life in misery and solitude. I'm not sure if it's the voice actor. I know that he's an illustrator that also worked on illustrating the Redwall books. So I'm not sure they're related. Alright, if we possess some Hoid herb to give it to the poor Vaxler, no, we don't. We gotta flee the cave. You race along the rock-strewn cave, eager to escape from the infected old man. The horrific stories that you've heard about Vaxillus makes you careless in your haste, and you lose 2 items from your backpack. Alright, so choose which items to remove from your action chart. Alright, we lose 2 items. What do we throw away? Okay, let's abandon the rope, and what else? And a meal, yeah, why not? I agree. Once outside the cave, you and Benedon waste no time in pressing on toward the carriage. As you near the outskirts of the town, you pass a small round hut where a goat is eating from a manger near the door. A man appears in the darkened doorway and bids you welcome. He touches his forehead in a salute of friendship and invites you to his humble home. Alright, we got 6 cents. Let's go and check it out. You sense that the man's show of friendship is genuine. He may be able to help you find Tipasa the Wanderer if you accept his hospitality. Alright, do we enter his home or do we press on? Alright, go in, enter. Free meal. Alright, accept hospitality. Alright, need say no more. The man is short of stature, but broad-shouldered and strongly built. Physical characteristic common among the tough mountain dwellers in Vassagonia. He pulls a cork from a bottle of lime green wine and pours 3 large measures into earthenware cups. Kusha! He exclaims, and down the wine in one swift gulp. Alright, do we just follow his example, or do we just ask him where we can find Tipasa? Alright, let's drink. Alright, let's get drunk again. I mean, we didn't get drunk the last time. We handled the forbidden drink very well. Alright, let's drink. Despite your misgiving, the lime green wine tastes delicious. A warm glow radiates slowly from your stomach, filling you with a comfortable sense of well-being. Restore 2 endurance points. The man looked delighted by your reaction to his wine and offers to sell you the bottle for 5 gold crown. Alright, do we actually want to buy the bottle of wine? If we drink it, there's going to be enough of it in order to get 4 endurance points back. Alright, why not? I mean, we lost some backpack items. Yeah. Alright, Porsche 4 EP. So, okay, now that we've drank, do we actually questioning him about Tipasa the Wanderer, or do we leave his home and continue? Alright, ask. He sold you curse, so... I wouldn't say this is cursed. This is obviously good for us. Alright, let's question. Tipasa, he replies thoughtfully. He lives near the Duga market, but exactly where his home is, I'm not sure. I haven't seen Tipasa for years. If you shall find him, remind him of Kamsin, the goat herd. He still owes me 12 crowns. That I have not forgot. You thank the goat herds for his help and bid him farewell before continuing your trek to Ikarish. Follow a path along a dry gully, the bed of an ancient river that once flowed through the mountains. An arid breeze blows eddies of red dust along the banks of Delhurt. The white-walled buildings of Ikarish suddenly appear, and as the dust settles, you find yourself standing in a small square close to the open archway of the town east gate. Perched upon a tall basalt monolith in the center of the square is an eagle, the emblem of this mountain town, cast in bronze. 3 bronze arrows are held in its beak, each indicating an exit from the square. Do we go north toward the Duga market? Do we go west toward the main square? Or south along the Avenue of Eagles? Okay, 1 vote for market. Let's go shopping, market. I mean, that's where he apparently lives, so I guess that's a good place to go. Oh, alright, eagles are cool. Go to the avenue. Okay, I'm sorry, Festus, but I think everyone wants to go to the market. 40 paces along the street is a barracks, a long whitewashed building with ugly square windows. A soldier sits dozing in the evening sun with his spear resting across his lap. Some children are tossing hollowed-out larnuma fruits at him, trying to catch them upon the tips of his spear. Opposite the barracks is a tavern with a line of saddled dugas tied to a rail near the main door. The braying of these sand horses rival the sound of revelry drifting from the tavern door. Alright, do we go in the tavern or do we just continue along the street toward the Duga market? Alright, bar, beer. It's tavern time! More drinking. Alright, okay. As you approach the door, Vanadon offers you a word of advice. Take care to guard your gold, lone wolf. Nothing tempts the Ikarishi more than a full purse. You can trust their honor, but if you trust their honesty, they will steal the hair from your head. Inside, the mood is one of celebration. Tables have been drawn together to form a large semicircle in front of which stands a small, broad-shouldered man dressed lavishly in an embroidered costume. A gold-mounted sword hangs by his side, its blue velvet scabbard as vivid in color as the man's silk pantaloon. Affectionately, the man embraces his companion, kissing the friends and relative who have traveled so many miles to celebrate his wedding. At his side sits his bride, her face concealed behind a veil of shimmering pearls. Suddenly, the tavern is filled with music as the guests take the floor for the wedding dance. On the far side of the floor, you see the owner of the tavern, a stout old lady dressed in somber black. She watches the festivities with tears in her eye. Do we approach her and ask her where we can find Tipasa the Wanderer, or do we leave the tavern? Okay, ask. Ask politely, ask. Okay, alright, let's go. Why do you ask? She replies suspiciously, blinking the tears from her eyes. What business do you have with Holtipasa? He's a friend, replies Benedon, placing a gold crown on the tavern counter. The old woman covers the coin with her hand, her expression shrewd and calculating. Shilo is old. Her memory has faded with the passing years, she says, waiting expectantly and glancing at Benedon's money pouch. He opens the flap to remove another crown, but the pouch has been emptied by a nimble pickpocket. Sheepishly he avoids your stare, his face growing redder by the second. 5 gold crowns may refresh my memory, she says, her gaze now resting on you. Do we pay her, or do we just, Okay, pay. Okay, pay. Pay up. Pay. Okay, I think we're going to pay then. Alright, let's subtract 5 coins. Walk along the street to the Duga market. Behind the stables, there's an alley. Spasa lives there, in the house with the blue door. As you make your way through the dancing crowd to the tavern door, take care to keep both hands on your belt pouch. An embarrassed Benedon follows in your footsteps, cursing his misfortune under his breath. Pass under an arch where 2 brass-gilded, conical towers gleam like gold and enter a marketplace crowded with squabbling merchants. Exotic carpet, brightly colored material, and all matters of food are being bought, sold, and haggled over. The north side of the marketplace is devoted to the auction of dugas. The sleek but noisy desert beasts are being paraded for the benefit of the bidders around the paddock adjoining their stables. Just past of the stables, a street vanishes into the carpet weaver's quarter vicarish. Do we investigate the stables? Do we ask one of the merchants if they know where Spasso lives? Or do we just leave the marketplace and continue in the adjoining street? Okay, check the stable, check the street. Okay, stables. Stables! Alright, is there anybody else want to offer a differing opinion? Alright, stables! Uh-oh, we're playing stables. Staples, okay, alright. As you enter the stables, you are overpowered by the smell of the dugas. Grit your teeth and cover your nose with your robe. A small boy sniggers at your reaction and says, "You're not a Kirishi, I can tell!" He mimics your grimace, exposing a lion of broken teeth. "Do you know where Tipasa the Wanderer lives?" asks Benedon, holding up a silver ring. The boy's eyes nearly pop out of his head at the sight of the gleaming silver. "Oh, yes, I do indeed!" He stammers in his excitement. "Walk up the street and take the first passage to your left. The old wanderer lives at the house with the blue door." Benedon flicks the ring into the air and the urchin catches it in his grubby hands. You hurry away from the stables and begin to search for the passageway. Just as you find it, you hear the young boy shriek with disappointment. The ring has just dissolved on his finger. At the end of the rubbish-strewn alley, you find the door. At the end, the house with the blue door. I mean, he just got his entire purse stolen. He's allowed to get back. Come on. There's no reply to your first knock. You're about to knock again when the door opens a few inches and the red rim eye of an old woman stare out from the darkness. "Benedon!" she exclaimed, her voice hoarse and shaky. "Thank the gods it is you!" She ushers you both inside and locks the door. The house is sparsely furnished and what little is there is either damaged or broken. "They have taken him, Benedon. They've taken my husband. The men with the faces of the dead. 10 days ago. They came like shadows in the night." She breaks down, her frail body racked by sobs. Benedon comforts her as best he can, but you sense he shares her bitter loss. The Dracarim have taken Tipasa, of that there is little doubt. By now they will have made him tell everything he knows about the tomb of the Majan. We will find him, I promise, says Benedon, wiping the tears from the old woman's face. But you must try to help us if you can. Tipasa's always kept the diary of his travel. Do you have it still? A flicker of hope shines in the old woman's eye. Yes, it is here. He told me to hide it when the evil men came from it for him. Oh yeah, I think it's either from 999 or Virtue's Last Reward. Yeah, Virtue's Last Reward. She kneels at an empty fireplace and prizes a loose brick from the chimney. A leather-bound book drops from its hiding place into her hand. She gives it to Benedon, who studies the yellow pages, his face lined in thought. You notice that the book is full of cryptic symbols, numbers, and pictograms. They are drawn by the night stars, said Benedon, tracing his finger along the astronomical drawings. They hold a secret, I know. But without my star shards, we cannot hope to find the tomb. We must return to the Sky Rider at first light. There I shall be able to make some sense of this book. Also, no, I haven't seen that, and at this point I'm just expecting that to be terrible. You have little sleep that night as you lie thinking about the quest that lies before you. Haunted by the fear that the Dark Lords may already have found the Book of the Magnikai. You rise before dawn and breakfast on a meal of sheep's butter and dried milk cake before bidding farewell to Tipasa's wife. The trek back to the Sky Rider passes uneventfully, and by noon you have reached the rocky crag where the craft is moored. Nolrim is the first to greet you, but he cannot hide his disappointment that you have returned unaccompanied. Do not worry, the answer lies here, says Benedon, holding up Tipasa's diary. Prepare to set sail. As the Sky Rider rises into the clear blue sky, Benedon hands over the helm to Nolrim and bids you follow him to his quarter at the prow. For 3 hours, he pores over his chart, making calculations, checking instrument readings, and racking his brain for the solution that will pinpoint the tomb of the Majan. It's no use, he says, tired and exasperated. I cannot fathom these numbers. As you peruse the pages of Tipasa's diary, suddenly you realize that they are written in code. What Benedon had assumed to be the position of stars is a code to 3 numbers that give the precise location of the tomb. Alright, consult the map to help you discover the location of the tomb of the Majan. The first of the 3 number is equal to the number of oases on the trail between Ikaresh and Bir Rabelu. The second number is equal to the number of cities in Vassagonia. The third number is equal to the number of islands off the coast of Cape Kabar. Alright, we've got a riddle to solve. At that point, let's open up the map onto another thing. Alright, so here's our map. So now we have to figure this out. Alright, first, number of oases on the trail between Ikaresh and Bir Rabelu. Okay. Ikaresh, wait, where's Ikaresh? Okay, here it is. And Kabelu or Rabelu is over there. So, if we go here, 1 oasis, 2 oasis, 3 oasis. So the first number should be 3. The second number is the number of cities in Vassagonia. Okay, at that point, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And does that also count as a city? I guess it could also be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I mean, it's probably big enough to be a city, so alright. I guess let's count this one. 7. Okay, and what about the last one? The third number is equal to the number of islands off the coast of Cape Kabar. Okay, where's Cape Kabar? It's here. 1, 2, 3. So, okay, let's try out 373. That's it! exclaims Benedon, stabbing his finger at a map on the dry main that covers his short table. 115 miles due west of Bur Rabelou, 115 miles due south of the oasis of Bal Luftan. Picks up a quill pen and marks the spot. The Tomb of the Majan. You study the map and ponder the miles of desolation separating you from your goal. Sorry. Benedon notices your look of dismay and quickly tries to put your mind at ease. Fear not, Lone Wolf. We'll be there before the dawn. Smile at his confidence, but it is not the actual journey that worries you. Your concern is what you may or may not find upon your arrival. Dawn is breaking on the horizon of a low hill, blurred and dotted with small tufted tree. Swiftly, the Skyriders voyage through the night to arrive at the foothills of the Konishi Mountains, in which folds the skyship is safely tucked away from watchful eyes. 25 miles to the north, across a landscape of barren rock and dry brush, lie the Tomb of the Majan. You and Benedon set off before the dawn, anxious not to waste either time or the protective cover of darkness. Now, as the great golden disk of the sun rises in the sky, for the first time you can see your goal. A massive excavation have exposed the heart of this scorched land, delving deep around the tombs of its forgotten ancestors. Thousands of Gyaks, spiteful and malicious servants of the Dark Lord, labor unceasingly to remove rock and sand from this quarry, forced by Dracarim to drag their back-breaking loads up ramp to the rim of the crater. Close to the edge of the crater, an encampment of black tents surrounds a large dome canopy. Lying in the shade of this construction is a huge flying creature, an Imperial land beast. Its presence here can only mean one thing. Dark Lord Akon has arrived. The thought chills your blood, but you draw comfort from the labors of his slave. That they continue to labor is a sign that their mission has yet to be completed. The book of the Magnikai has yet to be found. It is impossible to approach a crater unseen. You will have to wait for darkness before you attempt to enter the tomb. During the long wait, it is agreed that Benedon should attempt to find Tipasa. It is likely that he is being held captive inside the encampment. The Dark Lords will be unlikely to kill him before discovering the treasure they seek. During the day, you must eat a meal or lose 3 endurance points. You may not use hunting if required to eat a meal in the middle of this wasteland. Alright. As night falls, your desperate quest begins. The Gyak cause few problems that you cannot overcome with your warrior skills, or they've been overworked to the point of exhaustion. Only the Dracarim show any sign of vigilance, but even then, there's less than a dozen patrolling the entire crater. Not until you reach the main entrance to the tomb do you encounter any real difficulty. A Drakkar stands on guard, his cruel eye glinting behind his twisted, high-end death mask. Occasionally, he diverts his attention from the watch to take a drink from a water flask. Alright, we've got mind over matter. You focus your skill on a nearby spade, willing the spade handle to rattle against the wheelbarrow with which it rests. It only takes a few seconds for the vigilant Dracarim sentry to leave his post and investigate the noise. By the time he returns, you're already inside the Tomb of the Drakon. The Majan, whoops. As far as the eye can see, a long, straight sandstone corridor slopes away into the distance. Torches crackle and sputter on the wall, illuminating the pictogram engraved in the yellow stone. At regular interval, rough-edged slabs protrude into the main corridor. You stop to take a close look at one of these slabs and the floor beneath it and come to a frightening conclusion. They are obviously traps, no doubt set off by the Gyaks when they cleared this corridor of sand. Rather than instructing the Gyaks to avoid them, the Dark Lord would have deliberately used their slaves to set them off. Once the traps have been sprung, the squash bodies were cleared away and the slab chiseled through to the next section. Pit traps in the floor seem to have been neutralized in the same way. Set off by luckless Gyaks, they will have been filled in with the dead bodies and leveled off with sand. The thought of this heartless barbarity fills you with revulsion. And yeah, let's just say we have a whole lot of wicked powers. Just over a mile along the corridor, you eventually arrive at a large stone door. The stone surrounds bear evidence of chisel work, but the door itself is rock solid. You notice a faint beam of light descending from a hole in the ceiling. It creates a small circular pool of light, a little to one side of a similar hole in the floor. In the wall near to the door, there is a triangular indentation, no larger than a gold crown. Okay, we don't have a prism, but we have a blue stone triangle, all the way from Calt. Remove your blue stone triangle from around your neck and press it into the indentation in the wall. It is a perfect fit. You hear the sound of stone grating on stone, and the door slowly opens to reveal a chamber. It is dimly lit, but you see that the thick dust on its marble floor is covered with innumerable footprints. As you enter, you catch sight of a rough stone throne facing the wall on the far side of the chamber. Behind you, the stone door slides shut with unnerving speed. The throne begins to revolve. A terrible howling fills your ear, changing almost instantaneously to the growling of a harsh, guttural language, the like of which you have never heard before. Words and sound that the mouth of men could never be shaped to speak roll through the chamber like thunder. It is the Dark Tongue, spoken by Akon, Lord of Haranak, Dark Lord of El-Jedad. He rises from the throne, the ghastly voice still echoing from his unnatural mouth. A spike fist open to reveal a glowing stone. Blue flames smolder around its surface, and you can feel the currents of power that radiate from its core. Suddenly, his words change and you hear a tongue you know so well. Sumlending.
Look on your doom, Kai Lord!
There is a deafening crack, a surge of power, and a fireball of blue flame hurtles toward your head. Alright, we've got Summer Sword. You raise your golden sword just in time to deflect the bolt of raw energy. It screams from your blade and explodes into the chamber wall, gouging a hole several feet deep into the steel hard rock. The impact jars the summer sword from your hand. The blade arcs through the dust-choked air and embeds itself upright in the stone floor. You roll across the floor and take cover behind the pillar.
Your doom, Kai Lord,
Spits Akon.
is but seconds away!
Do we wish to retrieve the summer sword? Do we move to a new hiding place under cover of the swirling dust? Or do we stay where we are? Alright, try to retrieve the sword. Do a lively jig. Does that mean just move to a new spot? Okay, sword. Sword is very useful. Sword. Seduce him. Go for your blade. Okay, alright, let's get it. You run, half crouch toward your golden blade, grab the hilt, and continue at full speed toward the cover of another pillar. Suddenly, a burst of energy leaps from the Dark Lord's fist, exploding in the base of the pillar, severing it from the floor. A tremendous roar fills your ear as you are thrown backward by the shock of the blast. Alright, you lose 3 endurance points. Hakon's laugh rises across the crash of falling stone until your head is filled with agonizing pain. Alright, we have Mind Shield. Suddenly, the pain subsides, but the onslaught has only just begun. A mist as black as the grave is seeping from Hakon's mouth. It creeps along an outstretched arm and settles like a cloud in the palm of his upturned hand. Whirling shadow shapes draw into focus. Wait, the inventory is missing from the string? Ah, hello! Yeah, that's right. Thanks for the reminder. Whirling shadow shape draw into focus. Wings and tentacles sprout and take form. A curse in the Dark Tongue shakes the whole chamber as a deadly flood of horror hurtles from his hand. Alright, let's fight a bunch of really fucking weird shit. A deadly flood of horror. CR? What do you mean by a CR? Do you mean a liter or? So, alright, at that point, do we drink it or do we just. Because I don't know, I'm willing to bet. Alright, at that point, I'm just going to set the debate. Do we drink our Halator potion now in order to defeat the crypt spawn? Oh, maybe. That's not an answer! We need yes or no! This is a black and white world! Okay, save it. Okay, you've heard the crowd. Save it for the big guy. So, alright, let's go. We have 23 endurance against 40. Oh boy. That's it. Now we're fighting stuff that are on our league now. We're fighting. We're still ahead in the strength department and everything, but now the monsters are totally catching on. Whoops, nope, that's not what I wanted to do. Okay, 9! Alright. And we have, what's our combat ratio? 5. So, monster take 18 damage, and we take none. Okay, 2. Alright, the enemy takes 6 damage, and we take 4 damage. Okay, 4. The enemy takes 10 damage, and we take 2 damage. Nine. Alright, so how is it? Okay, monster takes 18 damage. We win. Alright, if you win, let's go. As you slay the last of the crypt spawn, Hakon reels back as if weakened by the death of his creature. You raise the summer sword, wielding the blade to discharge a bolt of power that will burn the evil Dark Lord from the face of Magnamon forever. The blade shimmers with golden fire, but no searing blast issues from its tip. Suddenly, you realize what has happened. You are beneath the earth, and there is no sun from which the sword can draw its power. Hakon utters a terrible laugh that shakes the floor. A beam of blue flame is growing from the stone in his hand, forming a fiery blade that crackles and spits as it cuts through the dust choke air. The stench of death and decay fills your nostril as the Dark Lord prepares to attack. There we go, it's the Summer Sword trying to charge, but failing. At that point, yeah, let's drink up. It's the big jewel. So at that point, let's get hammer, then let's drink Halator. So at this point, we got 33 combat skill, okay, 17, 21. At that point, do we just go a while and drink it all up? Yeah, fuck it. Alright. Let's drink Loam Spur as well, just like, yeah. Not gonna have many chances to do this properly. Alright, 45. Our combat ratio for this. 33 combat skill versus 28. Okay, combat skill is 5 still. And unless you have the Kai Discipline of Mind Shield, reduce your combat skill by 2. So, alright. Thankfully we have it, so we're not gonna have an handicap. So, alright, it's time to fuck up the big boss of the Dark Lords. 9! Oh boy, alright, we're off to a good start. 19 damage and 0 damage to us. Okay, 3. This is not as spectacular, but still. 8 damage to the enemy, 3 damage to us. So at that point, we are still definitely holding the cards. Okay, or maybe not. 3. 8 damage to the enemy, 3 damage to us. 9. Alright, 18 more damage. The Dark Lord, he is no more. There we go. You examine the floor where Dark Lord Hakon fell, but there are no signs of his body. The atmosphere is strangely calm and peaceful, as if a great and evil shadow is being lifted. You turn and walk to the throne where Hakon sat, waiting for you to appear. Beyond it lies a portal, an ancient inscription carved deep in the blood-red stone. Below the carving is set the impression of a human hand. Instinct and intuition guide your hand to the door. The carving fits around it like a glove. Silently, the portal slides back to reveal your destiny. The Book of the Magnikai. Set on a pedestal, the book lies open, its secrets revealed to your eyes alone. As you lift the sacred book, the very air throbs with the vibration of the force locked within its sun-gold cover. With a pounding heart, you close the book and hurry from the chamber. Yep, there we go. Our big reward. By the time you reach the foothills of the Konishi, Benedon has successfully completed his mission. He and Tipasa are waiting for you. As they see you appear, clutching the Book of the Magnikai, they can barely contain their excitement. "This night of triumph," says Benedon jubilantly, "will herald a new dawn of hope for Summerlon. The Kai are reborn!" The quest is now over. You have found the Book of the Magnikai and freed Magnamon from the shadow of Dark Lord Hakon. But for you, Kai Master Lone Wolf, the story has only just begun. Your destiny lies along the path of the Grandmasters. To learn their secrets and attempt the first exciting quest of the Magnikai, begin your journey with Book 6 of the Lone Wolf series entitled The Kingdoms of Terror. Oh yeah, that's it. We are now a master. We know everything that is needed to be obtained. So if we wanted to, we could use Mind Blast, but we're not gonna have to ever Mind Blast anything into this adventure. That we finished again without any debt. You have done well. Now, it's not time yet to start a Jedi Academy. If anything, I'll offer spoilers for the Magnikai quest. Essentially, your quest is to become a Grandmaster. And that will send you into a journey all over of Magnamond in order to learn the true secrets of who you are. So at this point, whether we're going to do this journey or up is up to you. Oh yeah, congratulations on finishing the Kai Lord books of the Lone Wolf history. Book 1 and 5 have been toasted. And if you are up to the challenge, we can continue our adventures with our weird-ass powers that are only gonna get stronger and stronger with our sword that murders everything on a journey where we're going to murder and be murdered. But yeah, for today, however, that's going to be it. Thank you everybody for coming alongside to this stream. I hope you enjoyed our good old adventures to choose your own adventure land. So stay tuned whenever we'll do another stream of this, because the next step of our journey is going to be the Magnikai adventures, where we're finally going to meet our matches and, well, you know, meet monsters and foes that are actually going to challenge us. So, all right, it's time for good old worms. At that point, I'm reading Smite. Yeah, and here's the rain message. It's Aru. So goodbye, everybody, and see you around for another stream. Goodbye, everybody.